morning. Thank you for joining me today on Becca's World. I'm your host, Blind Becca. Today we're recording our next episode of The Blind View, and Kayla and Meg are joining me again today. How are you, ladies?
Doing well.
Great. I know what I want to talk about today. Today I want to talk about blind dating and blind relationships, or relationship building as a blind person, and different ways to go about doing that. But I know that Meg has something she would like to talk about. So let's talk about what Meg wants to talk about first. So Meg,
Oh,
would you like to start?
sure. I'm really excited about our topic today, by the way. But what I was going to talk about was um, I've had a lot on my mind this week about our reopening of our cafe and all the different things that we have to do, and kind of like the different way of life, which is good, because we're going to be cleaning more, and I mean, not that we weren't, but I mean, it's going to be a constant thing to think about having to do, the temperatures of my employees every day, because I definitely want to do that. But we're trying to find thermometers, and how you guys are doing in that field, but it's hard to find a thermometer right now. And just the different things that I'm gonna have to do with them to keep them safe, as well as our customers. So
So Meg, how do the guidelines work? Are there like government employees that are going to be watching restaurants and stuff to make sure all the guidelines are being followed, or are they trusting restaurants to do the right thing?
I'm sure that people will be watching them, and no, they're not. I mean, the government put out guidelines for us to follow. So if you've been watching the news, or when we've been watching the news these past weeks, you've been seeing people that have been kind of complaining because they're not able to get the supplies that they need to be able to be open, like some of the hair dressing places, because everything's at, like, in a bidding war right now. So I haven't really had to worry about that in the restaurant business yet, because we are in government buildings, so we're waiting for more people to get back into those. But I'm interested to see how that's all going to go. um Trying to find the supplies that we need, and making sure, and we're definitely studying, looking into that too, to see what we need to do, make sure we have everything we have. It's like going to camp. Make sure
Well,
you got all your stuff.
I know a lot of places are running out of supplies because the supply chain has been interrupted. You know what I mean? Not only because a lot of the products we purchase are from China and we're not purchasing from China anymore, but also because a lot of people here in America have been laid off. Like my boyfriend, he works for a company that they schedule truck drivers to deliver loads all over the United States, and they've been off for several weeks. So who's scheduling these trucks to deliver supplies to these restaurants and stuff? The restaurants are running out of stuff. So once stuff opens up, I think a lot of people are going to be out of stuff at first until stuff starts getting delivered again, you know?
I feel like that too. I feel, and I'm also a little concerned about this meat crisis right now. Because everyone was getting sick in the factories, and so now, I mean, and who knows what was, I mean, I'm I'm kind of glad this all happened, just because maybe people will clean up a little better. Like, you hear about all these major shutdowns to do a major cleaning. It's like, well, we should be doing this like once a year, guys. Like,
Mhm.
spring cleaning.
And maybe it will bring better, better working environments for people, because one of the reasons in the meat factories why they shut down is because they're so close together, they barely have any space to move around and work. So that might have to change a little. um,
Well, we've had really high standards here in the United States when it comes to food, food processing, care and distribution, as well as medical care with medications and stuff. So I'm sure when we move forward that we'll still have the same high standards to make sure stuff is clean and safe to eat. But it's a matter of like each individual restaurant following the rules so that we don't have big breakouts, and each individual company and each individual person taking responsibility for themselves, so that everybody's carrying their loads so that it all goes well, you know.
I was reading this article about Washington, the state,
Mhm.
wanting to reopen their restaurants and everything, and they're gonna implement one of the things that were on their list was implementing if people are eating there, they have to give their email and their phone number, and they have to keep a 30-day log of all all customers that have come into their restaurant and where and sat and who they sat near and all that, so that they can do contact tracing at if someone ends up um, being tested positive.
That
And then
is
yeah, and then like using single use um, menus and ketchup packets and stuff like that. And I'm pretty sure Megan's cafe, that's pretty much, she has the big menu, and you pretty much use individual packets and stuff already, correct?
We do. So what we're gonna have to do instead of leaving it out for customers, which I'm okay with this actually too. Not that I'm trying to be, stingy or anything, and I want to make sure customers have what they need, but kind of keeping more of a I guess like a watch on our sugars and things, and we can make sure that everyone has like 2 or 3 or 4 sugar pack, like we'll be able to make it up for them beforehand, and I'm actually okay with that. We did have a water station that customers really enjoyed. Unfortunately, we might have to get rid of that. But we'll have to come up with a different solution as far as getting customers water. But it's an important thing, and even though I know it's kind of a something else for my employees to do, it's something that would keep people coming in if they needed some water. So we'll have to figure out how that's going to go.
what
And then in the vending, it's kind of interesting because things are opening up slowly. It's kind of like watching something reopen all over again. So it's kind of interesting.
when you speak about the water that you were providing that customers really enjoyed, was it bottled water or was it like fountain water?
No, I had like a little water, like a kind of a jug that they could fill up, and they like if they wanted to fill up their own water bottle, or if they wanted to, like I had little like 6-ounce styrofoam cups. But now that we think about that nowadays, it's like, oh, germs all over.
Oh
So
yeah.
can't do that anymore. And then, did you guys hear that the Sweet Tomatoes is closing down, and Soup and Salad? A lot of the buffets are going to be closing down.
Yeah, I heard about that. There's just too much germs, even with the little face shields up. There's
That's
just
sad.
germs that they just can't even open. So
Yeah, bad. It's going to be a new way of life. Like, I feel bad for those restaurants. And
It's really unbelievable, you guys, that our children will maybe the last Americans to ever have enjoyed a lot of those things. You know what I mean? Like these all you can eat buffet restaurants, you know? What if
yeah.
we're never able to get back to that again? What if we were like the last generation to have that?
so here's my thought, and like because like it makes me so sad to think that.
Mhm.
But it could be. It possibly could be. But we did have the Spanish flu. We had tuberculosis. We got through all those, and I'm sure that they were doing the mask thing too. It would probably be in our. I feel like once a vaccine is out, things will kind of loosen up a little bit. But then again, we need to keep in mind that we really do need to keep up our standards. I'm really happy to hear, Becca, that some people like you still think that food standards are really high, and I think they're a lot better than they used to be, but I think we could do better, and I think we are going to do better because of all this. Not that I mean, there's room for everybody to do better, and so this is going to be a good thing for all of us, and so we'll just see how it goes. I
Yeah,
think it'll be okay. I think we're going to loosen up a little bit.
yeah. Um,
Oh,
anyway, so are we ready to talk about dating and relationships as blind women?
Yeah.
yes.
Oh,
One thing I did want to mention before we do that
uh-huh.
is I wanted to make sure that you guys remembered or were reminded about the NFBA talent show that we're going to be having. That's the National Federation of the Blind Talent Show. And we're getting a flyer together for it, but it's going to be an affiliate thing. It's something to bring us together. If you guys have some funny talents or, anything, get your video ready, and you're going to be sending it in to someone on the 30th, and that will be on the flyer. I'm not exactly sure which person it's going to be yet. So, and it's with all the chapters and the affiliate, so it'll be fun.
So this is on the state level, correct?
Can
Yes,
you tell our viewers how they take advantage of that, Meg?
Yeah, so
And all the information?
yeah, so depending on what you want to do, you would make a video, and then you would send it to the email address that we will provide to you. I don't have the email address yet, but it's going to be someone on the in the state, and that's running the talent show. And so you would send your video in. You can sing, you can dance, you can, I don't know, as long as it's appropriate, you can do whatever you want to do and send it in. And then there's going to be different prizes and different judges from the different chapters. So I don't believe it's just going to be one person that's going to win. It's going to be a lot of fun to get people involved.
That sounds great. And what is the deadline for getting your entries in?
It's going to be May 30th. So
can you, so I think you'll be able to provide the email address, and I think Brandon can put a link in the video when we post the video, right,
Great.
guys? Yeah, and then people can take advantage of that. Thank you so much for sharing that information, Meg.
Perfect. And then I just wanted to let you guys know too, we had our board meeting this Saturday for the state of the affiliate, and we're going to have our state convention virtually too. So if you have any ideas as to what you'd like to do, like if you have a presentation that would be beneficial, or something, if you have any ideas, that would be great to share those too. So,
Okay.
All right.
Thank you so much, Meg.
Thank you.
Okay, guys. So I wanted to talk about relationships as blind women, and just how we overcome some of the things that maybe are typical for people to struggle with, whether they're male or female, blind or sighted. And I know, as a blind woman going through puberty and then eventual young adulthood, and then I'm much older now, I mean, it's been kind of challenging, figuring out how to make myself appealing to the opposite sex, and so, and I know there was a time when I felt very uncomfortable about myself, and I think maybe a lot of people feel that way. And so I wanted to share some of the stuff I have found to overcome those feelings, and see if maybe you guys have found some things as well to help. Do you guys have anything to contribute?
Yeah, you can get started though. Just joking.
Okay,
Well,
so
actually, yeah.
so like there was a time when I felt like there was something wrong with me, like I wasn't offering, and like I didn't have anything that would make me desirable for people to want to be with. And I really feel like what I did was I had to realize that I did have stuff that was interesting to talk about. You know what I mean? And I really feel like it was a matter of basically learning to love and respect yourself. And and I just really want to talk to our viewers about that, because a lot of times when you're blind, it's not necessarily easy to find the best clothes to wear and the best hairstyle to wear, because you don't know what everybody else is wearing out there. And so you can feel really self-conscious. But, I found myself that just figuring out what worked for me, and getting to the point where I felt comfortable in my own skin, was really when other people started feeling comfortable with who I was. You know what I mean?
I definitely know what you mean, Becca. Especially high school, uh,
Mm-hmm.
when all the other girls started doing makeup all the time and spending all these hours getting ready. And I can't I tried. I suck at doing makeup. It's just not something I can do for myself. I felt like if I put it on or if I didn't have it, I was ugly, but if I put it on, I was ugly because I didn't know how to do it correctly. Uh,
Mhm.
I didn't know if I was gonna leave the house with mascara all over my face, and stuff like that. I always had someone else have to touch it up or check it, and my friends were always wanting to do my makeup, and I think that was a big part of it is everyone's like, "Oh, let me do your makeup." And I'm like, "What?
Mhm.
Am I ugly without it?" Or, so it wasn't that they were trying to be mean and stuff like that, but those were some of the thoughts I had is like, "Why does everyone always wanna do my makeup? Is this something that's fun for them or something that I need?" Because I felt okay just being me without the makeup
Mhm.
until the things like that started to happen, and that's when I really started questioning myself. And clothes, of course, I still don't even wear what's popular because I don't know. I got to the point where I kind of just wore what was comfortable for me to wear, kind of like what you were saying. Once you got kind of comfortable with yourself, other people started to become comfortable with you.
Yeah, exactly. Because you know what? Once you find out, once you just, once you get to that point where you're comfortable with yourself, you start carrying yourself differently. And it's like you put off aura or something, that people just sense, they sense your
Definitely.
self confidence and it attracts them to you.
Yeah,
That's my experience.
it's like a different energy level that you're putting out into the world, a higher
Mhm.
vibration or however you want to say it. But yeah, for sure.
In a
Um,
big way, it's a lot like positive thinking. You know what I mean?
yes. So,
What about you, Meg? What do you think about that?
So I agree with both of you. That's so funny that you say that about high school because I felt the same way. Like everybody, all the girls like had their little routines in the morning that would take like 2 hours, and I really tried it too. That's so funny. Um, I did do a lot of Mary Kay stuff though when I was that age. Like I was lucky to have gotten involved in that because I kind of learned like if I really did need to do something, I kind of knew, if I needed to put on my blush, to go to the through the cheek lines and then blot it and mascara. Yeah, I don't look at my eyes at all to put it on. I do it all by touch if I need to. And it sounds a little scary, but if you that's all you've ever done, it's just what you do. And
Mhm.
then as far as um dating people, I definitely think what you said is true, is that it's really important to know yourself too. To know who you are and what you want, what you expect in a relationship too. So, yeah.
Yeah, that's all definitely true. Um, Now I've talked to other blind women, on there's a online group I'm in, and I remember one day a woman asked, she said, "At what point do you reveal to the man you're dating that you're blind?" And I was really shocked when she said that, because I don't hide my blindness, and I honestly don't know how you would go about hiding it. But I think to try to hide your blindness is really doesn't make any sense because your blindness is such a huge part of you. And if you're not comfortable enough to share that part of yourself with somebody, then there's no hope for that relationship. You know what I mean?
so I'm assuming she was doing like an online dating at that point or
I
something.
no, I think what she
Oh,
did is I
so
think she had partial vision, and I think
okay.
she was going out like going out to well-lit places and stuff on dates and having problems like because she couldn't see very good, so she was stumbling and stuff like that and having little accidents and stuff.
So
I've
I know
actually known a
exactly.
lot of women who do
Yeah,
this.
I did it. When a long time. I mean, it's been a while, obviously, but you go through. Anybody who is blind or has something different than other people around you, it is a process that you have to go through, and you do have to go through that. Some people are lucky enough to where they don't have to go through that stage of feeling like everyone's staring at you. So the least amount of things that you think you can do that would be different, or I mean that would look the same and normal to everyone else, you just do it. And but then again, the things that you think are normal might not look normal to a person, a sighted person anyway that's watching you in the world. Um, I also feel like, I mean, maybe we do get watched a lot, but I think everyone does. I think, there's some people that just like to sit and stare at any person and like, look at what they're doing. So I had to get that through my head, like, that's normal. And yeah, I just have a cane that I'm using. But you just, like I said, you're like we're all saying, just getting to feel comfortable with who you are, and understanding why you need to do the things that you do, can really help you out in your life, not just in dating, but in everything.
Yes. Because that self-confidence that you can gain, I mean, it helps you in all areas of life.
Yeah.
Um, well, I feel like we've already had a really good discussion. Does anybody want to share any funny anecdotes that they've experienced when out
Well,
of there?
I want to ask you guys a question. Do you guys feel like it's different dating a sighted person as opposed to a blind person? What do you
Oh,
think?
definitely.
I think so too. And
I
I know. Oh, go ahead, Kayla.
I honestly can't answer that. I've never dated anyone who is blind.
I
So
there is advantages to both, and I can see disadvantages because it's different. Like it's very different. Like having a sighted boyfriend, you can always get a ride wherever you need to go. They want to take you. It's not as much of a hassle to get the transportation to go places. But on the other hand, having a blind boyfriend who needs the transportation, like you see like kind of what lengths they will go to, I guess, to try and
Well,
hunt you down.
I find that having a blind boyfriend, a lot of times we have the same interests. You know what I mean? Like I like to go, like not many of my sighted boyfriends have liked bowling, but every one of my blind boyfriends have liked bowling pretty much. You know what I mean?
I
So
love
um I like the fact that my blind boyfriends and I have a lot of stuff in common where my sighted boyfriends and I, not so much. Usually they like my pretty face and they like hanging out with me because I'm fun to hang out with, but after a while they get bored and they move on. You know what I mean?
Oh, see, I just never had that experience. I mean, obviously, because I don't have a boyfriend right now. I have, but um, you know, I, oh, that's interesting because I find that I have in common, or a lot of interests in common with both. But like I said, there's different things that are kind of, whether you want to look at it either way. Oh, sometimes it's a convenience, and sometimes.
I do feel like I feel um I don't know. I feel I feel like blind men understand me a little bit better than sighted men do. You know what I mean? Like my boyfriend right now, he doesn't understand how I blow so much stuff off so easily. Like, cause he's sighted and so he's concerned about what's on TV all the time, and I just blow it off. You know what I mean?
I got you.
I think that's kind of a personality thing though, as
Mm.
well. Being able to just move on and, that it may or may not have to do with your vision. That's
Mm.
just kind of you're a more go with the flow, easygoing, not letting things affect you as much is
Yeah.
what it sounds like rather than, um, yeah.
Mm.
And I think,
Unfortunately,
go ahead.
oh, well, I was just gonna say, unfortunately, too. I was watching on TV. It's the how people perceive blindness too. So I think sometimes we meet these people that are sighted, and they think, how are these people doing this? Like, how can they even breathe, basically, or how can they feed themselves? How can they live alone? And then it puts like this huge burden on them that they really don't need or need to have. I mean, obviously it's nice that they are thinking or that they care about you, and that's the first step. But then having to show people what you can do and what you're able to do. I think that kind of intimidates sighted people. That's what I'm saying. Sometimes it intimidates them because sometimes people look at any person with a disability and they either go, oh, I want to take care of you, or I don't want to have anything to do with this, because they put this big,
Like
montage of it.
what
And
one of my biggest pet peeves is when a man says, I want to take care of you. You know what I mean? Because if he's looking at me, when he first looks at me, if he thinks I want to take care of her, she's blind, that's the wrong reason to want to get in a relationship with this chick. You know what I mean? Because I take care of myself, plus many more. You know what I mean?
I think
that's
there's a balance. Yeah. I think because I want a team player. I want someone that will, if I make dinner, they will help do the dishes. Like,
Mhm.
I want, so like I think there is a balance. Like I do kind of in a sense, want that, but I don't want to like lose what I have, I guess is what.
You don't want to lose your independence.
Yeah, but hey, if I have a sighted husband and he's gonna go to the store, I'm gonna figure out ways, to help out. And I watch, Kayla do that with her husband, because,
Mhm.
she knows, and not that I'm trying to put words in your mouth, Kayla, but
you're
I
good.
look up to you, like, because Kayla knows all this, and so she does, like, things like as a team, and so does her husband. They're a team, and
Mhm.
that's kind of, I think, where we want to be is.
Yeah,
Oh,
but we
yeah.
weren't all
And
that way, though. We, to be
my
honest.
husband all my husband also is sighted, and as blind women, we're not any less of wives than our sighted counterparts, you know?
Oh, I
We're able to be contributing members to marriage and the family, just like our sighted counterparts in a relationship with our husbands, and I find it really gratifying. I mean, my husband and I have been separated for a few years, but we're still really good friends, you know?
I think that's cool. I think that's
Mm.
really good for your kids too.
But, um, yeah, I'm glad that we talked about this, you know, because I think a lot of people have preconceived notions, and they think when you're blind that you can't hold up your end of the bargain in a dating relationship or in a marital relationship or in a spousal relationship or in a parenting relationship. You know what I mean? And that's just not true when you're blind. So,
And I need to be honest that yes, me and my husband now we're a team and it works great, but it has not always been that way. So I don't want people to think, oh, I'm going to find this perfect guy. We're going to be a perfect team and everything's going to work out perfectly, because that isn't the way it works.
I think
We
that's all part of it though. Like what you guys did to, make that happen, like that was teamwork. Like you
mhm,
were a team to show each other, like, I'm not gonna put up with this, or, I will put up, like, this is what I want, this is what I don't want. And
Yeah. So
you
we set boundaries. I had to set boundaries that, yes, I will ask you when I want help. Don't just step in and start doing something for me. But
mhm,
I'm that person no matter what. I'm very independent and I like
mhm,
to do things on my own. I very rarely, unless I absolutely have to, I'll ask for help. And that was one of a thing that was a little bit of a struggle, because he's like, well, I can do it. I'm like, I know you can do it, and so can I. And
mhm,
so now he's to the point where he'll kind of step back and he'll be like, just wait for me to ask for help. And I'm like, okay, I got this part. I need you to do this part. And we've been together for 15 years now. So now it looks seamlessly. It's not always still today, but it took a lot of work and a lot of give and take on both of our sides. And he had to learn to step back, and I had to learn how to step back too, but we grew together. And I think that's the biggest thing. It wasn't just one or the other doing anything. We both came together and we did it together. We talked a lot, once we went to counseling and figured out how to talk to each other. So I mean, it wasn't perfect. It was always perfect, but not perfect. You know what I mean? But
uh,
nothing's perfect.
whatever it is. Yeah, exactly.
So it's just you have to have someone that wants to work on it with you and grow together. I think is the most important part of a relationship. And that communication. And communication is really hard for a lot of people. And I know
oh,
it was for both of
communication
us.
key.
Yeah.
Because you don't want the guy or the other significant other person to be upset with you. So, like that's the thing too. Like communication is good, and You know, I had this boyfriend that would always do like he'd be like exactly what Kayla was saying. I'll do it. I'll do it. And this was kind of one of my first, rodeos, kind of, I guess you could say. And when we broke up, I didn't know how to do some of that stuff that I had him do. So, in my other relationships, that's when I realized, and it's just kind of in how you go too. I mean, you listen to all this advice, of course, but you have to live it too. But it's just that's the thing, and I think we're all on the right track here. I think we're all on the same page.
Um, so have either of you experienced online dating at all?
I have not, but I have friends who
And Jimmy is like,
Yeah,
"Yay!"
I'm like
How about you?
I'm glad I don't have to do it. It doesn't sound like fun.
Well, the POF app is accessible. The Plenty of Fish app for the iPhone is accessible, and I have been using that. I got on the app like over a year ago. I didn't really start using it a lot until last summer, and I met a great guy in November.
That's
And you know, the thing about POF that I really liked was because it was accessible, I was able to go on and put down basic information about myself and upload a picture. And then I was able to look at other profiles and get basic information. Obviously I couldn't see their pictures, but I wasn't really cared about what the guys looked like, but their profiles gave me enough basic information about them. So I knew if I was interested in checking them out. And, I met this guy in November and we really hit it off.
So,
that's
did you put in your profile that you were blind, or is that
No, and I
oh,
never have. Like, even when I used to be on chat lines and stuff, I never say, "Hey, by the way, I'm blind," or, "Oh, hope this doesn't bother you, I'm blind." Because my blindness is actually, I think, one of my higher qualities. And so I figure if I'm telling people I'm blind, I'm bragging about myself because I'm proud of being blind. And so if I'm like, "Hey, I'm blind," that's like saying, "Hey, I'm smart. Hey, I'm beautiful." And who wants to brag about themselves, right? So I don't hide my blindness, but I also don't wear it on my sleeve like I'm bragging about it because it's just who I am. And to me, it's a really important part of who I am. So yeah, I definitely don't hide it. Um,
that's a really good philosophy thing, because we've talked about that a lot. So you can say, I mean, some people, yeah, they agree with that. And I don't even know which way to go, because, would you put that on your resume? I'm blind. No, you don't need to. It's a characteristic that defines, or that doesn't define you as a person. But
mhm.
then again, we put on our profiles, hey, I have brown hair, brown eyes.
Do you put that
I
in your profile or is it just in your photograph?
I put it on my profile. Well, I mean, okay, so I'm not really I can't really say that I do this, because I haven't really explored the online dating, but if I were to do that, I think I would.
So let
Um,
me tell you, Meg, on the profiles on online dating, it asks you like your name, your gender, your age, what you're looking for, what your interests are,
it's
maybe what your
complicated.
occupation is. I've been on some of these sorts of things where they ask you what your income range is so they can match you up with people of a similar income range. Though it's those sorts of basic questions. It's not like you go in and you enter a whole bunch of information about yourself. I mean, there's an area where you can enter like more information about your hobbies and interests, but I just feel like to put in there, oh, and by the way, I'm blind.
No, I agree with you. I mean, there's
Yeah.
no right or wrong answer to this. Like,
Mhm.
um, yeah. So I don't know, because like I said, I haven't really delved into that. I've just been so crazy busy with everything. I figured, but it's something that I definitely have, looked into, and haven't really tried it though. But I know other people who have, and they've had really good success. So
Well, I definitely don't
that's
hide my blindness. It's all over my Facebook profile. Anybody who's friends with me on Facebook knows I'm blind because of all the blind groups I'm in,
Becca,
all the
you're
blind
blind. I didn't know
related
that.
posts. Oh,
Just kidding.
but
Just kidding.
but I just, like I said, I feel like embracing that this truth about myself has made me stronger. So
Yeah,
definitely.
I
uh,
totally. I've watched your videos for a long time, Becca. I think you do really. I mean, I learn a lot from you. So, um, I think this is really cool that we get to even be a part of this too. So,
So
Meg, I can't wait to come to your grand opening.
I'm excited. Do you guys even understand how much I want a caramel macchiato right now?
Oh, you doing
Don't even-
Starbucks?
I'm not. And well, actually, I probably am. I think it barely opened. And, once you become a barista yourself, only yours are good to you. It's like I could go get a caramel macchiato, but I can tell every time they mess it up or if they do something cheap, if they cheat me out of a squirt of syrup, I know.
I used to drink the iced caramel macchiato from Starbucks, but now I drink Dutch Brothers.
Oh, I love Dutch Brothers too. I really do. I'm not even gonna be ashamed to say it. And you know what else is really good? Dunkin' Donuts caramel macchiatos.
Oh, really?
Yes, they have a really good one.
Yeah. Don't you guys love Bosa donuts?
Bosa?
Oh my gosh.
Right.
we have a tandem bike, and so we would take the kids, they'd ride their bikes, and we'd ride our tandem bike, and we'd go to Bosa Donuts and get donuts. And Jonah likes to he'll open the door for everybody who comes in.
Uh-huh.
It's so funny.
I love Bosa donuts. It's like a cake donut. It's just like it makes you just want to cry when you think about them.
You guys would hate me if I told you what happens in this house every single day.
Oh,
Okay, I'm gonna tell you. Every single morning, my sister and I get up at like 3 or 4, right? We're early risers. And my boyfriend stays in bed till, I don't know, 7 or 8 or later when he's not working, which he's not working right now. But my sister loads all 3 of the dogs in the car. They go to Dutch Brothers and get pup cups for the dogs, and she gets her drink and my drink. And they go to Bosa Donuts and get donuts, and they come home. And like it's a daily ritual for the dogs. They like they're like they're smiling, ready to go, and they're right by the garage door, right? And like the people at Dutch Brothers, they know us and our dogs, and the people at Bosa know us and our dogs, and I don't know, it's great.
that's so cool. I guess I know where I'm going to be coming to hang out if I ever want to go hang out somewhere.
Oh yeah, dude. Oh, we had a barbecue here last Saturday. It was great.
Oh, that's so cool. I wanted to let you guys know too. I know if I talk too much about the NFB, just let me know. We can talk about that. But during
It's
the
impossible to talk too much about the NFB.
well, thanks. Because I just wanted to let you guys know, and you guys are more than welcome to come over if you want. But during the national convention, it's going to be virtual too. So I was thinking, so that we wouldn't all have to be watching the convention alone, I was going to hook up the iPad to the TV, and we could, obviously I'd have to figure out, it couldn't be like 20 to 30 people. We still have to kind of social distance. But since it's 4 days of fun, we could, switch it up and,
Are you
but that's
saying Kayla and I could come to your house and we could watch it
sure,
together?
of course.
OMG, that would be the bomb.
That would be so cool. Yeah.
That would
for
be
sure.
on her
That'd be
big TV. Are they doing mostly audio, or is it going to be video as well?
Oh, wait. I can't, because in July, since we're not going to the convention, Brandon and I and some other people are going to Montana to do research for our movie.
Oh,
How
cool.
fun.
So, but if it's something streamed before those dates, we could do it,
Well, we could watch the talent show together.
Yeah, let's do that.
Okay. All right. That sounds good. So, back to your question, Kayla. I believe it will be some videos. I'm not exactly sure how they're going to do it yet. They're looking into different platforms to use, and on the presidential release, they tried the Zoom polls to see how the voting, or how voting worked. So, I believe it'll be kind of like this. But when I've noticed on the NFB stuff, like it's not showing people's faces a lot.
Yeah. And I noticed a lot of people had their cameras off. So that's
Yeah.
kind of, maybe we just can hook it up. It might be better just to hook it up to a speaker rather than a TV.
Oh, I see what you're saying. Yeah, I see what you're saying.
And then you can
In
finally
the
get together
pool,
and watch it together. I
in the
love that
pool
idea.
watching it.
Right? I think that would be cool. Yep. And then they're doing door prizes too. So if you're listening, I don't know how they're gonna like know that you're listening, or you know, you can push the hand raise or what. I don't know how they're gonna do that yet, but they're gonna be sending out door prizes, and it sounds like it's mostly gonna be cash. So
I like cash. I
cash
got
for listening.
they
It's like
just PayPal it to us.
I don't know how they're gonna do it yet. They might even mail it. I don't know. Oh, I see what you mean because it's cash.
What was the date of the talent show again, Meg?
It's for the National Federation of the Blind of Arizona. It's our state one. I'm sure they're going to be doing a national one too. I don't know the name of it yet, but I'll get you all the information.
What is the date of the talent show that you wanted us to come over and take part in?
It will be at the end of August, I believe.
It's in August? Okay.
No, I think it's in
For
June.
for the Arizona one?
Yeah. Yes.
I
Oh,
think it was in June too.
Yeah, we have to have our submissions in by May 30th.
I thought it was gonna be during the state convention. The talent show, I thought it was during the state convention.
No, this is
Not
going to be
bad.
something different. It's something totally different. It's not going to be during
Oh,
the convention. Yeah, it's
okay.
just something fun. We haven't done this kind of thing in a long time, or you know, we're just trying to get everyone together and just kind of do something fun virtually.
Yeah, they talked about it on the call last night. So.
Oh, you were on that? Okay.
Yeah, I was for a little bit.
Cool.
I didn't catch the whole thing. I was late getting there. So.
I'm excited.
Were you there, Meg?
No.
There were a lot of people on there when I got on. So.
Oh, very cool.
Jordan was on there, and Colin was on there, and several other people. I think Jenny was on there. Lots of people were on there.
Very cool. Yeah.
It's during my craft meeting, so I can't do both. I can't do that at the same time. So.
Why? No, I'm just kidding.
Anyone who wants to can come to the NFB craft meeting on Monday nights. You don't have to be a member to attend the Monday night meetings. So
is that a Zoom thing?
There's a phone number. I can get it so we can put it in the notes below.
Yeah, that'd be great, because then when Brandon posts this video on Friday, like if you provide that information and Meg can provide the other information, then it can all be.
And I will put the information for the state convention, or I mean the national convention registration, because it's free this year. So I can give you.
I already registered and paid. Do I need to re-register?
No, you're good. And they should be calling you back to see you know, when you're wanting your money, or how you want your money back, or if you want to.
I didn't know they were giving refunds. I wasn't even gonna expect.
Yeah. Oh, that's nice. Well, you could donate it too. I know some people are.
That's what I figured I'd do. It was,
It's really nice. Thanks. Cool. But yeah, I'll give you guys all that information too for national, and then when we get our state going, I'll give you that too for the convention signups.
Thanks.
So the crafters division asked me to run for office.
Oh, that's so cool.
I'm not gonna.
Like a board.
So because I just want to be a board member, because I've never served on anything like this before. So I feel more comfortable starting as a board member, but the board member positions aren't available till next year. They'll be voting on those. So right now it's like president and vice president, and I'm like, oh no, I can't do that yet. But maybe next year I'll get on as a board member and start.
I think that's so cool. That is very cool to get. That is so cool.
Yeah, I felt honored. It's something I thought about really, and for them to come to me and be like, hey, your name came up when we were talking about it. Are you interested? And I felt kind of bad. I'm like, no, because I don't know what I'm doing. But I told them I would like to be a board member. Maybe next year I'll run for a board member.
I think that's really cool. Congratulations.
Yeah, that's awesome. You're such a crafty person, Kayla, and they saw that.
Thank you.
Well, remember what you did with the origami frog?
Huh?
Remember your origami frog? You're very crafty, like I said. That was pretty amazing. And you just did it like it's just no problem, and you just make this little leg here, and then you pull this.
Yeah, but I'd done it like 50 times before that in practice. So it's not like I did it only once and then, I practiced. I worked on it. So
You worked it?
I worked it. I worked that frog.
Well, it was a splendid presentation, and I
Yeah,
think
you did
everybody who
a good
walked
job.
by really enjoyed it.
Thank you. Yeah, it's really cool. They started like a book club. So once a month we read a book that is like craft related. And so that's really cool because I end up reading books that I wouldn't have thought of to read even. And
Uh-huh.
so that's like a new thing they just started last month. So, but the book we're reading this month is I can't remember what it's called, but it's about how they made quilts. And they used them for the Underground Railroad when slaves were um, escaping and stuff. And they used the quilts to show them where it was kind of like a map that would show them where they could go. So I thought that was really cool, and I would have never picked up the book and read it. So I'm really glad I did.
What was
Um,
the book called?
it is, I don't know. I'll have to look it up. Give me a second. um,
Now, is that the crafters division of the NFB that you're talking about?
correct. Yes.
So can you tell our viewers how they can get information on all the various divisions of the NFB so they can go on and see if there may be a division they can join in order to participate? I mean, is there like a list of all the different divisions that are available?
There is. It's and I don't know if you know, Kayla, that's great. I didn't mean to step in on
No,
your.
I don't. Go ahead.
Okay, so you would go to www.nfb.org, all lowercase, and then it's a pretty easy site to navigate, and you can type in list of divisions, and it'll pull up all the list or the divisions that are throughout the country. So, and I'm not exactly like I'm hesitating because I know it's there. I don't know exactly where to tell you where it's at. So just do a search for it, and you'll be able to find it.
So that would
Also,
be
if you go on the NFB and you type in the different mailing lists, there's a list of the mailing lists that come up, and you can see what mailing list would be of interest to you, and that's really where all the divisions are too.
that's some great information, and then people could get involved that way too.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you so much.
Especially now, it's like a really good time. We're doing some good advertising. We didn't even know, we didn't even know how popular it was going to be. So we're doing this.
So the name of that book is called Hidden in Plain View.
Okay. Do you know who the author is?
It's the hidden quilts of the Underground Railroad, and it's on Bard.
Oh, perfect.
All the books I try to find that we've read so far have been on Bard, and like one of the rules is if we have to purchase it from like Amazon or one of those services, it can't be more than like $1 or $2. But there's a lot of good craft books on Bard that I think we're going to be able to go through that for a while.
Wow.
Bookshare has them too, don't they? Are you guys on
Yeah,
Bookshare at all?
yeah, Bookshare does, but not everyone has a Bookshare account.
Okay.
You know, ladies, one of these days, maybe we should do an episode talking about Bookshare and Bard and the other reading services that are available so that our viewers can get as much information as possible as to what reading services are available and how to
Yeah,
get
that's
access.
cool.
That'd be cool. Yeah. Okay.
I went to this Zoom meeting today for low vision Dr. Moon.
Oh yeah.
Do you know what? She has a low vision center. There's one in Mesa, and I think there's one in Sun City. I want to say the other one is. But they did a Zoom meeting about this new product. It's called a Aura Cam, and it's like a pen. It's the size of a marker, and it can read text that it's like. So it has a laser that does a block, and the closer you put, the smaller the block is, and the further you take it away, the bigger the block is, and it can capture text. and then it reads it out to you, but it's like really, really seamless. Like it was really quick in the demonstration. And they said that you could, hold it up and read a menu like 15 feet away. Um, and I thought that was really cool. The only thing is you have to have some sight to use it because you have to be able to see where that laser block is. But I've not heard it. I thought it was really cool. I've not heard of it before.
And you said it's
Oh,
the
I've
size
heard of
of an
it.
ink pen?
Sorry. Go
I'm
ahead.
sorry,
Jen.
did you say it's the size of an ink pen?
Yeah, like a marker. Yeah. I
Oh,
think it's fatter than an ink pen, more like a marker size. And
okay.
it has a 13 megapixel camera on it.
What is it called exactly?
Or a,
Called
or
the Orcam.
yeah,
Oh, the
or
Orcam. I've heard of that.
yeah. So it's a Oracam reader. So it's just the reader. I guess they have other devices that you can put on your glasses and it's the camera and it'll tell
Yes,
you,
they have that
it can
too.
identify faces and stuff
Yes.
like that. They
Mhm.
did, I hope they review that one because that sounded way more interesting to me. But this sounded really cool. And they were saying for people with reading disabilities like dyslexia and stuff like that, it's really good for them as
Oh,
well as vision, or people who get dizzy when they read and stuff like that. But it was pretty interesting.
That is super cool. I think that's the newer one that they came out with, right? The pen.
Yeah, it just barely came out, I think, in the last month or so.
Okay. Yeah, then I haven't seen the pen one, but I've heard of the Orcam, the glasses one.
yeah, I've heard of that too, but yeah, I should check out that pen. That sounds
And
cool.
the glasses do the same thing. It sounds like, except you have to wear the glasses. And I don't know if the pen, the pen doesn't do facial recognition, right?
No, just text. So
Okay.
but the pen was like almost $2,000. So I can imagine how
Oh yeah,
much
I
the
think the
The
glasses.
pen's
does.
$2,000. I don't care about the facial recognition, but the ability to read signs and menus and stuff so seamlessly just is so appealing to me. My goodness.
Yeah.
I think that like being in an office setting like I used to be in and people would come in and see me, it would be nice to know, to be able to look up and have it say, "Oh, this is Jan," or whatever, just to make it a little
A
easier.
little less awkward. Yeah.
Yeah, a little less awkward. So, like in that aspect, that's where when what I thought, I'm like, oh my gosh, I used to have people come in all the time. That would have been so nice to know who I was going to be talking to when I said hello.
Right.
I'm like, they have it. I have a disadvantage here, and then they'd be like, oh, guess, and I'm like, oh, I hate this game. Just tell me who you are. I don't
Yeah.
remember your voice. So.
That's funny.
Well, ladies, do you guys have anything else you'd like to share today?
I do have a funny story I wanted to tell you about from when me and my husband were dating.
Okay.
So there used to be a bookstore down on Mill, and it was a two-story bookstore, and it was kind of ghetto. Like the elevator was really dark, and we were going down on the elevator, and I didn't have a cane. I didn't use my cane yet at this point, and so we get in the elevator, and you know how like when you're starting to go down in an elevator, you jump and you feel like you're floating for a second before your feet hit the ground again. So I tell him to jump, and he replies, "How high?" And I reply, "You should know." And at this point, I hear a voice laughing directly in front of me about waist high, maybe a little bit higher than a little more than waist high. Definitely not growing up that laugh height. So the doors
But a
open.
grown up voice, right?
Yeah. So the doors open and we get off, and he's like, "Do you realize you just told a guy in a wheelchair to jump?" Because you were looking directly at him when you said jump.
That's why he was laughing. It's, it's nice to see that
Yeah.
he had a good sense of humor, the guy in the
Yeah.
wheelchair.
I just like he went with it like I wouldn't have ever, like we were just so quick back and forth that this guy thought we were hilarious.
Mhm.
He never knew I couldn't see that he was there.
Mhm.
So yeah, it was pretty funny. I have lots of moments of saying the most inappropriate thing in front of people I don't realize are there. So
OMG, I know what you're talking about.
So, but
Been there, done that.
yeah.
Got the t-shirt.
So, yeah, that was pretty funny. Anyways,
Well, thank you, you guys for letting me hang out with you today.
yeah, thanks for hanging out. I love it every time.
So
Every time.
Meg, were you saying that when you were when we were talking about the talent show, were you talking about us getting together at your house and social distancing and
We
watching
could.
it?
We
That's
could.
that sounds fabulous.
Okay, let's
It
do
would
it.
be
That would
awesome.
be kind of fun.
Yeah. Okay, great. So should we wrap up the show, guys?
Sure.
Yeah.
Okay. Thank you for joining us today on Becca's World. I'm your host, Blind Becca. We hope you enjoyed today's show. Please like, share, and hit the subscribe button. Peace out. Thank you for watching Becca's World. Please like, share, and subscribe to my channel.